Are you familiar with the graphic novels, the Sandman series at all?
No.
Okay, so it's a fantasy type show. It's based on books by Neil Gaiman. He wrote a series of graphic novels for this character. Just to preface, Neil Gaiman, if you Google him, great writer, allegedly not a great guy. So if people feel uncomfortable by that and they don't want to patronize by watching the show, I totally get it. I read some of the books and was kind of fascinated by it. So season one is about the character of the Sandman, aka Dream, aka Lord Morpheus, and he's a member of something called the Endless, which is all these different sort of aspects of life personified in these sort of mystical godlike people. The first season, when we meet Morpheus, he has been imprisoned by this rich lord, and after 100 years of being imprisoned, he escapes and has to reclaim his kingdom and all of his stuff that was stolen, and go sort of retrace his steps and become himself again. And over the course of the show, he sort of grows a bit and evolves, which is kind of interesting for a guy who's been around this long to have a character arc. And then in season two, and this season concerns a lot of his siblings. So he's called Dream of the Endless, and his siblings, he's got a sister called Death, and then he has a genderly ambiguous sibling called Desire. Then there's a sister called Despair, a brother called Destiny, a sister called Deliria, and a brother called Destruction. And Destruction has been missing for years. And at one point, they go seek him. The story from the first episode begins with Lucifer Morningstar, aka the Lord of Hell, played by Gwendolyn Christie, who you may know from Game of Thrones. Lucifer decides to abdicate responsibility and give up the realm of hell, and kind of leaves Morpheus to deal with it. He's like, okay, this is yours now, buddy. And all of the demons and everybody vacates, so he's got to deal with that. There's also a plot about Morpheus's lost love, who he had banished to hell for centuries. And then there's also a plot with his son. His son is Orpheus, and I don't know if you're a Greek mythology person, but Orpheus and Eurydice is a very famous Greek myth. So we kind of see a take on that. There's fairies, there's Shakespeare, characters like Titania and Puck, and the Norse gods like Thor and Odin and Loki are there. And it's all real, like it's all like part of this whole mythos kind of thing. And it's crazy weird. It's a really weird show, and people who know the books will probably see it as sort of a condensed version or like a Cliff Notes version of the books. You can still get it if you just watch it, but if you're watching it and you're not kind of like really open-minded to some stuff, you're gonna like, oh my, that is like, okay, so one of the plots, right, deals with Morpheus having long conversations with a disembodied head, where the head is off its body and talking to him. So that's just one of the weird things that happens. There's gods and demons and all kinds of crazy stuff, and there's a talking dog, there's a talking bird. It also kind of sort of involves like DC Comics characters, because it was produced by an offshoot of DC. If you read the books, you're going to look for John Constantine, who actually is, I think they pronounce it Constantine because everything's very British in this world. That character had his own movie where Keanu Reeves played him, but that was totally not like the comics, because the guy is British and supposed to look like Sting. He doesn't look like Keanu Reeves. And in this, the part of John Constantine is now Joanna Constantine. So they flipped the gender on it. And there's a couple of other roles that are gender flipped, but it doesn't really make any difference because these people aren't real anyway, and they're mythical beings. So like, if you're a fanboy of the books and you're like, why did they make it a black woman instead? It's like,
Right.
just roll with it, buddy.
Yeah.
But like, there is a very different sort of pacing to the show. Like, one of the things about and the guy who plays Morpheus is terrific, and he looks just like he stepped out of the comic book. Like, they couldn't have cast this dude better. Sort of a tall, thin, young version of the singer from The Cure is kind of how he's based on. Like the black hair and the whole thing, pale skin and real skinny and stuff. He looks like a rock star. So like, goth kids are going to love this one, really. He does this thing when he talks where everything is like super slow in a way. Like, he's got this British voice and he talks very slowly with everything. And you're just like, spit it out, man. Come on. Like,
A little dramatic?
how
Or
long is this show? Like, come on.
maybe they cut his lines a lot, so he's like, let me drag this
But like,
out.
but it fits the thing. That's the thing that's
It
weird. Is
works.
like
Okay.
it actually works. It fits the show, fits the character. But for like a New Yorker, you're like
Hurry
looking
up.
for the button on the podcast where it makes everything 1.5 times speed.
Yes.
but but he's
Can't.
great, and it really worked. And they commit to the bit, and everybody is fantastic in it. The brothers and sisters, the endless siblings, are all very interestingly played and very intriguing. But you should definitely watch season 1. Don't jump right into season 2. If you jump into this, you won't know what the hell's going on. Like, you're gonna have to. You need some background. And
Right.
if you like graphic novels, these happen to be very wordy graphic novels.
Mm,
They're not action comics. They're
right.
very it's just a novel with pictures, basically. But it's really interesting, and the mythology thing is great, and the history thing is great. It's a lot of fun, but I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Is it only for, it's not for kids? Is it
Oh,
mature?
no, no, I
Okay.
wouldn't I wouldn't have I wouldn't have children.
Okay.
I mean, in the
I didn't
first
think so, but
I mean, I guess it depends on how old your kid is and
right.
because like there are some sort of like horror elements in it in a way.
Hmm.
Like he's Dream of the Endless. He creates nightmares.
Mm.
There's this one character who's a serial killer called the Corinthian in the first season, and he's like this sort of blonde, good looking guy, but he doesn't have like eyes, and his eyelids are like teeth, and removes people's eyeballs. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, you don't see it
Right.
really, but there's some scenes that are just like, oh yeah, I'm not showing my kid this.
Right. Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's
And
definitely for grown-ups.
my son loves horror stuff. He always has. He's 10 now, and he's watched Stranger Things. I always kind of, I hate to, I more monitor for adult content more than the scary because he can, I don't know, he's, he likes that type of stuff. But I don't think I would have him see this.
I think there is some adult stuff in it.
Adult
I don't.
themes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really well done, and I know it cost Netflix a lot of money. It is a really expensive looking show.
I was gonna say I like all the elements, how you said there's Shakespeare, there's the God and mythology stuff, and also sounds like biblical, Corinthian. Yeah, so that's cool.
It's take mythology, put it into a blender, and you get this show,
Okay.
and with some new made up mythology as well,
Right.
which is kind of cool.
This is the BTRP Media Network.